What's up, everyone? This is Nate, and I'm back with another Out of the Theater review. Now, today I went and checked out The Monkey. This is the latest from Osgood Perkins, who had a really strong release last year with Long Legs that I know was pretty popular, very well reviewed. And this is his next film. So I'm going to give you my 2 cents on it. But before I do, if you would, please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already. And go ahead and hit the bell icon. That way you get notified every time new videos drop. Also, if you would, please consider leaving me a thumbs up and a comment about your thoughts. If you saw this, did you like it? Did you hate it? I want to know. Okay, so this is written and directed by Osgood Perkins, produced by James Wan, and it's based on a short story by Stephen King. And the funny thing is, it very much feels like a Stephen King story and an Osgood Perkins directed movie. And I'll explain what I mean by that here in a second. The cast, you got Theo James in this. Elijah Wood pops up. Adam Scott pops up. And I say pops up because they're literally in like one scene each. I mean, they're pretty funny in their one scene, but, you know, very small roles. So anyway, the story is about this toy monkey that whenever it is like wound up and it plays its little drum, someone dies horrifically. Adam Scott, he plays the dad to our main character. He has it at first. It gets passed down, and then they discover that, and then the story plays out from there. It definitely feels like a Stephen King story, and I think that's a good thing if you like Stephen King, you know, type stories. It's based on a short story, so it's not like there's a lot of stuff added to this that's original from Osgood Perkins. And it definitely feels like a movie that he directed. And if you've seen any of his other movies, Long Legs, Blackcoat's Daughter, or even like Gretel and Hansel, like he has a very certain look. His movies have a very certain look to them. And this definitely looks and feels like his other movies. So if you're a fan of his, hey, this might be right up your alley. Might, you know, continue liking his work. If you're not, I don't know if this will necessarily change anything. I think on the plus side, this has some really good gore, lots of over the top, way over the top kills, but they're fun. They're entertaining. Few of them made me laugh. A few of them were a little like kind of gross. But I think that the makeup effects, the gore was really good. I think Theo James is actually really good in this movie. I heard he was good on that show, The Gentleman, on Netflix. I haven't watched it. The only thing I really remember him from is like a Divergent, and I'm sure he's been in other stuff I've seen, I'm sure, but he's not a remarkable actor to me. But I thought he was very good in this, actually. I quite liked him. So good performance from him. I think the story's solid for a horror movie. It lends itself to a really good horror film. Now, I'm saying all that because I did not love this movie, and I think it's good. I think it's well made. I think it's well acted. Again, as far as like on a technical level, it's good, but tonally, it didn't always work for me. I love a good horror comedy, and it's two of my favorite genres. Like, I love horror movies. I love comedies. If done right, I love a good horror comedy. But this just felt kind of weird. Like, to me, it should have just been played as a straight horror film. Yes, some of the comedy is decent. I did chuckle, but as it goes on, like as the movie goes on, there's moments, even like in the third act, where at this point we've already seen some really horrific stuff, real crazy, and they're still doing these like little jokes in there. And I read a little article as to like why he approached it this way, and I understand it, but for me, it didn't really work all the time. I think it's more serious than it is funny. But then the serious part, then it's not scary either. Like, it cuts out all the tension for me. So I can't think of many horror comedies that I think are really scary anyway. But this could have been, I think, an amazing horror film. And instead, I think it's just a good horror comedy, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I think, I think it starts off strong. I like the premise. And then, as it's going, it's like, okay, we get it. And then it does start to dip a little bit in the second act where it's like, this is just okay, honestly. And then the finale is very over the top. And I don't know. I ended up not loving it as much as I hoped to, but I did mostly like it. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I think it's solid, but nothing to write home about, honestly. I was a little bit disappointed. So anyway, that's my thoughts on The Monkey. Again, let me know down below what your thoughts on this movie were, and I will be back next week with another Out of the Theater review. So until then, take it easy.